Hi guys, in this lesson we're going to look at parallel and perpendicular lines. Now as you look at the heading you'll see it's through one point and parallel or perpendicular to a given line. So what are we going to do? Firstly we're going to look at the parallel lines. Now if you think of parallel, it's like a railway trail. It's all the way the same distance apart. That is what parallel means. You also already know that since grade 8 when you've done geometry. They never touch or meet. They're the same distance. Now, if you think of the graphs that we're busy with at the moment, what shows me the direction of a graph, of a straight line? The M, the gradient. So if this gradient is 4, do you agree with me that gradient should also be 4? Then I can say the two lines are parallel. So if I look at the method, if I've got an equation there, let's just quickly change this so you can see clearly. If I've got an equation like this, the normal y is equal to mx plus c. The only reason we did m1 and c1 now is because we're now working with two different lines. So the other equation will be y is equal to m2x plus c2. So it's two different equations because it's two different lines, but they are parallel. Now I'm sure by now you could have figured it out yourself. Because they are parallel, because they've got the same slope and the same direction, their m's are equal. So this is the most important thing you need to remember. And in future, if you read the word parallel lines, you stop immediately and you write down M1 is equal to M2, because that's the little formula that should be in your head when you read the word parallel lines. And then you know whatever they ask me on that, I should be able to do that. So what we do when we get, normally they give you one lines equation, and then they ask you to find another lines equation, which is parallel to that one. The first thing you do is very important. You make sure that the y is all on its own, all alone, so that you have the standard equation of the given formula. Because you're going to need this m. This m is going to tell you what the slope of the graph is. And if they say another line is parallel to this line, it means that you need this line's m. You need nothing else of this line. You only need the m, the gradient. And then, as we did in the previous lesson, the shortest way to get to a formula, if you've got one point and the gradient, is to use this formula. Can you remember this one? It comes from the gradient, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, but we multiplied the fraction, and we don't have two different points, so it's just a x1 and a y1 and a normal x and y. So that is the formula we're going to use. Good. As usual, example is the best way. So let's look. It's passing through minus 1 and 1, so they gave you 1 point, and they gave you this equation. They say, find the equation, so that is what I need to find, of the line passing through that point and is parallel. I'm going to stop just there. Parallel means M1 is equal to M2. Whenever you read the word in the future, parallel, immediately you write down M1 is equal to M2, because then you know where to start. I need 1m of this given formula so that I can replace it into the other formula, because I know they are parallel, they've got the same m. But this formula is not in your standard form. So the first step said, make sure you write it in the standard form. So I'm going to find the y all on its own, take that over, it becomes plus, take that over, it becomes minus. Now actually I'm not interested in that formula at all, except for the m. So I'm going to draw a big circle around the m, and I'm going to write down m is equal to 2. So if this line's gradient is 2, and I now need to find another line's equation, which is also that skew, the gradient is also 2. So now I write down my formula that I know is the easiest shortcut way. If I've got 1 point, which I have there, 1 point, and now I've got the gradient. So I just go straight away. I'm just going to write the point here. It's always good to have the point that you are substituting right next to the line. Y minus y1, which is just 1. The m I know is 2. X minus minus 1. So before I carry on, make sure you know what I've been doing. You wrote down the formula. After you've written down a formula, you substitute what you have. I have now the gradient because my two lines' gradients are the same because they are parallel, same direction, which is m. And I've got another point, so all I need to do now is to multiply this out. This gives me 2x plus 2 plus 1, and if I add the like terms, I get 2x plus 3. Just remember that gives me a plus, and that's why it's plus 2. And if I take that one over, it becomes plus 1. So there's my formula. There's my equation. I do not even have to write down anything else. This is my formula because they said find the equation of a line. There's the equation of a line. It's again in the format mx plus c. So if they would ask you now what the y-intercept is, you can just say it is 3. Good. Now, as you go home or as you go on your own, where you don't have any help from somewhere, you're going to redo this all on your own. After you've done it, you can check your answer. Everything is written out. There's the format. I need only the m. So let's just make that very clear. I need only the m. So that minus 1, I'm not even looking at. Many pupils make a mistake and they use the same minus 1 for the next equation. I just need the m so that I can tell the m's are equal. They're both 2. And then if I substitute it in there, there is your formula and there's your final answer. Good. You do not even have to write this whole sentence here. When you get there, you have got your answer and you can just leave it at that. Good. Another example. Let's look at this one. Line AB is passing through point A, 0 and 3 and has an angle of inclination of 153. Now, I'm just going to very roughly, there's approximately 3. So that's my point A. It's got an inclination of 153 degrees. Can you remember angle of inclination? Bit of revision. It's always from the x-axis anti-clockwise. So if I look at that 3 and I do this, maybe that angle of inclination could be 153 degrees. I know my line is not going in the other direction because then I will have an acute angle formed with the x-axis. And they showed you there, it's an obtuse angle. So I need to draw a line that actually forms an obtuse angle. Good. Now they say, determine the equation of the line CD. So this is my question, CD, which passes through this point and is parallel to AB. So why do I need AB? Or what do I need AB for? Just for the gradient. I do not need the formula, the whole formula. If I have a way to just find the gradient of line AB, that's all I need. So, can you remember this formula? M is equal to tan theta. That is also in an older previous lesson. M is my direction in letters. Theta is my direction in degrees. And if I use the tan, which is y over x, difference in y over difference in x, then I can find the m. So if I can just fill this in, m is equal to tan 153,4 degrees. Now remember when you use your calculator, because that is already an angle, I can just straight away click in tan 153,4 equals, and that gives me minus 0,5. So you can either say minus 0,5 or you can say minus a half. I actually prefer a fraction in equations. So when I've substituted in, maybe I'll make it just minus a half. Do I need to find the equation of AB? No. They told you there AB passes through that, but now let's just use another color. That information there is actually totally unnecessary. If they do ask you to find the equation of AB, I'm just going to quickly do it here. Then you'll say y is equal to minus 0.5x plus 3. Because they gave you the y-intercept. That orange is your y-intercept. But they did not ask that, so you don't need to waste time on that. You only needed the gradient, which you've got there. Now you can go back and you can write down y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Let's see, I need to substitute. So I'm just going to make lots of empty brackets. X minus x1. So what do I substitute? A y1. Let's write the point here. Always good to write the point here. 2 and minus 3 is the point that they gave you there, that I'm going to substitute. Y is minus 3. M we worked out is minus a half. X is 2. So can you see what we've done? We've written our once off formula. I filled in the M, which I got from the previous line's M. AB's M was minus a half. So CD's M is also minus half because they are parallel. And they gave me a point, I substituted that. So this is y plus 3. This is minus a half x plus 1. If I take it over, it's minus a half x. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Good. And remember now, the little sketch that I've drawn in the beginning was the sketch of AB somewhere. So it's not the sketch that I've got here. This one has also got a minus gradient because it's the same. And now it passes through the y-intercept on minus 2. So if I want to draw it, I can just kind of do something like that. This would be the line CD. It will pass through y-intercept minus 2. But they did not ask you to do that. If they now do ask you to draw the graph as well, you've got everything in front of you. You can just go and draw the graph. Good. But this is what they ask. Find the equation. And there you found the equation. Good. Now this one was just a little bit different because they did not tell you what the m is. You had to go find the m by using this formula, which I'm taking off now because remember, you're going to go and redo this all alone. Once you've redone it, you only then check your answers. So you don't go beforehand. You check your answers. Everything is written out neatly. It's also described for you again. So you can take your time and go through it slowly and make sure that you do understand exactly where we got the answer from. Good. That covers the parallel lines. Now we need to get onto perpendicular lines. Now again, perpendicular, you know exactly what it means. We've worked with that lots of times previously. Perpendicular means they form an angle of 90 degrees. Good. If you look at my hands, the one line is going up, so it needs to have a plus gradient. This line is going down, so it needs to have a minus gradient. So there's a very easy way to find out what one line's gradient is if I have the other line. So this whole big fat sentence only tells you if I have one line's equation and so they tell me find another line that is perpendicular, I will be able to do that. And how will I be able to do that? There's my two formulae. There's the one and there's the other one. The first one will be your given equation. The second one is the one that you need to find. But remember, it depends on what information we have. We also can use the other formula, y minus y1. We'll see just now what we've got. Good, but here's the important thing. Here is the very, very important thing. If you read the word perpendicular, or if you see that sign that I've made there, perpendicular sign, immediately you write down m1 times m2 is equal to minus 1. Now, these are the only two things you need to learn. The parallel one, m1 is equal to m2 because they are just the same direction. Perpendicular means they are different directions. So if I multiply them with one another, one needs to be a plus and one needs to be a minus. That's why the answer is minus. And luckily, this is so easy. The 1m is the inverse of the other m. So if the 1m is a half, then the other n needs to be minus 2 over 1. And you'll see that gives me minus 1. So whatever fraction you've got or whatever figure you've got, if you want the line perpendicular to that gradient, you will just flip the fraction over, which is the inverse or reverse, and you'll change the sign. Because remember, one needs to be a plus and one needs to be a minus in order to give you the minus in the end. So that is what perpendicular lines are about. Now there, again, the method is to always the given formula, get it in the standard form. Why? I need the y all alone. Why? I need the m. I only need the m of the given equation because then I need to find my own equation of the perpendicular line, but I do know now that if I multiply the one m with the other m, they need to give me the answer of minus 1. Good. So we like this formula, or I like this formula. I hope by now you like this formula as well because it's just much easier. So let's see if we do an example. Let's read. Find the equation of the line. So this is my question. I can actually immediately now write down a formula, but I'm just going to read a bit further to see which one of the two formulae will I pick. Through this point, they gave me 1 point, and perpendicular to. Now I'm stopping just there. Perpendicular to means I'm going to take the 1m, I'm going to multiply it with the other m, and that should give me minus 1. Immediately, when you read the word, remember previously I said if you read a word that you know a formula for, go write down the formula. And that's what we've done now. You read the word perpendicular, there's your formula for perpendicular. But now look at this ugly equation here. It's not at all in the standard form. I cannot get the y, I cannot get the y all alone as it is there. In other words, I can't find the m. Remember, you cannot read off this little 2 in front of the x because the figure in front of the x is usually your m, but it needs to stand in the correct order. It needs to be in the standard form, y is equal to mx plus c. So the first thing I do with my given equation, I need to get the y all alone, so take all the others over. Remember, if you take over, the signs change. Now I need to get rid of the 3, so it's minus 2/3 x plus 2. Now let me just quickly show you that minus 2x over 3 could be written like that as well. But I would not like you to do that because we need the format y is equal to mx plus c. So we need the m in front of the x. So I would not like you to do that. I would like you to keep the x at where it is because you need the m in front of it. Now I've got my format, and there is my m now. Now again, there's two ways of doing it. I know now this formula, so I can say, oh, I've got the one. I've got minus 2/3. I do not have the other m, but I know it should be minus 1. How does one get rid of a fraction? You multiply with the inverse of that fraction and with the minus. So if I do that, minus 1 times minus 3 over 2, it gives me plus 3 over 2. So there's my new m, and there was my old m. So let's just quickly see. The one m was minus 2/3. The other m is now 3 over 2. So without even doing this little formula that I did now, the formula just reminded me, this formula reminded me that if I multiply the two m's with one another, it must give me 1. So it needs to be inverses of one another, and it needs to give me a minus. So 1 needs to be a plus and 1 a minus. So if my given one, which I worked out, was minus 2/3, then you can just straight away make this a plus, flip the fraction over, and there you've got your m, without even doing this whole formula there. But again, up to you. If you prefer to do the formula because you want to make very sure, you can do that, but you can just straight away swap them. So now I'm going to go to my formula, which you know by now very well, m times x minus x1. Let's just write the point here. I'm just going to use another color so it's not so dear mekaar. Minus 2 and 2. Good. So it's y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. What is this one for? The y, which is 2. I see it there. M we found now there is plus 3 over 2. And the x was minus 2. So if I multiply this out neatly, it gives me 3 over 2x minus, not minus, minus times minus is a plus. I'm just skipping one step. So it's plus times that gives me just 3. And if I now get my y all on its own, all alone, it's 3 plus 2, which is 5. And there is my equation. Good. So again, you needed actually just this one formula to fill in the m and to fill in a point. But they did not give me the m straight away. I needed to find the m from there. I needed to find the m from my given equation, and that's why I had to rewrite this ugly equation here in the format y is equal to mx plus c. So all of this, lots of writing is not actually necessary. You will, as you practice it, you'll see which stuff is necessary to write down, but this orange part is actually the part that is your answer that you're getting. We only just needed that part as well because we needed to find the m from there. Just make very sure, parallel, m's are equal, perpendicular, multiply with one another. One is a plus, one is a minus, and that should give you minus 1. So shortcut, they're inverses of one another. One is a plus and one is a minus. Good. You're going to redo all of this on your own. Please don't ever skip and read the answer first and then go redo it. Then you are wasting your time. Then go swim quickly and come back and redo the sum without looking at the answer. Because the minute you're looking at the answer, you've got an idea. And in the exam or test, you do not have an idea. You need to there sit on a clean sheet of paper and be able to start with step 1. That's why you need to know the methods. Afterwards, you can go check. Everything is written out neatly here, where it's coming from and what the answer is. And as you see, very, very easy. Good luck, enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.